In the heart of a dense forest, there was a garden unlike any other. The flowers and plants that grew there were all imbued with a certain magic that made them more potent than any other flora in the land. They were the key ingredients in the spells that the witches of the forest would cast. They called it the Witch's Garden. One witch, in particular, was known for her mastery of the garden's magic. Her name was Eliza, and she was renowned for her knowledge of spells and her uncanny ability to heal the sick and injured. But as skilled as she was, there was one thing that she could not do: bring back the dead. One day, Eliza received word that her dear friend, a fellow witch named Lila, had been killed in a tragic accident. Eliza was devastated. She had always known that Lila's reckless nature would lead to trouble, but she had never imagined that it would end in such a terrible way. As Eliza sat in her garden, mourning the loss of her friend, she felt a stirring in the air. Suddenly, a voice spoke to her. Eliza, do not despair. I can bring Lila back to life. Eliza looked around, but there was no one there. She assumed that she was hearing things, grief clouding her mind. But the voice spoke again. I am the spirit of the witch's garden, and I have the power to bring the dead back to life. But be warned, Eliza. There is a price to be paid. Eliza was skeptical, but she was also desperate to see her friend again. She asked the spirit what the price was. The price is a life for a life. In exchange for bringing Lila back, you must offer up another life in her place. Eliza was horrified. She knew that no life was worth more than another. But as she thought of Lila's bright smile and her infectious laughter, she realized that she would do anything to see her friend again. She agreed to the deal. The spirit of the witch's garden told Eliza that she must choose a life to sacrifice, and it could not be her own. She must find someone willing to give their life for Lila's. Eliza spent weeks searching for someone to make the sacrifice. She talked to everyone she knew, but no one was willing to make such a sacrifice. In desperation, she turned to the forest creatures for help. It was a small mouse that eventually offered to make the sacrifice. It told Eliza that it had lived a long and happy life, and that it was ready to move on. It only asked that Eliza promise to take care of its family after it was gone. Eliza agreed, and the mouse made the ultimate sacrifice. The spirit of the witch's garden appeared once more, and Eliza watched as it worked its magic. The ground beneath her feet began to shake, and the plants around her glowed with a blinding light. And then, there was Lila. Lila looked confused and disoriented, but when she saw Eliza, her eyes filled with tears. They hugged each other tightly, and Eliza felt a wave of relief and joy wash over her. But as they parted, Eliza noticed that Lila looked different somehow. There was a coldness in her eyes that hadn't been there before. Eliza realized that the spirit of the witch's garden had tricked her. It had brought Lila back, but it had also taken something from her. Lila was no longer the same person she had been before. Eliza was horrified at what she had done. She had made a terrible mistake, and she knew that she could never make it right. But she also knew that she couldn't give up on her friend. She resolved to help Lila in any way she could. Over the following days, Eliza watched as Lila struggled to adjust to her new life. She was cold and distant, and she seemed to have lost all her joy and warmth. Eliza tried everything she could think of to help Lila, but nothing seemed to work. One night, Eliza had a dream. In the dream, she saw the spirit of the witch's garden once more. It spoke to her, telling her that there was a way to make things right. She must find a way to break the curse that had been placed on Lila. Eliza woke up with a start, determined to find a way to help her friend. She spent the next few days researching and experimenting, trying to find a way to break the curse. Finally, she stumbled upon an old book that contained the answer. The curse that had been placed on Lila was a powerful one, and it could only be broken with a rare herb that grew deep in the forest. Eliza knew that finding the herb would be dangerous, but she was willing to do anything to help her friend. She set out into the forest, armed with nothing but her wits and her determination. As she journeyed deeper into the forest, the trees grew thicker and the shadows grew darker. She heard strange noises and saw eerie shadows moving in the corners of her vision. But she pressed on, fueled by her love for Lila. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, she found the herb. It was a delicate plant, with tiny purple flowers and leaves that glowed with a faint green light. Eliza carefully harvested the plant, knowing that every step she took could be her last. When she returned to her cottage, she brewed a potion using the herb. She gave it to Lila, who drank it eagerly. Almost immediately, Eliza could see the change in her friend. Lila's eyes sparkled once more, and a smile lit up her face. The coldness that had been there before was gone, replaced by a warmth and a kindness that Eliza had never seen before. Eliza knew that the curse had been broken. Over the following days, Lila grew stronger and healthier. She was no longer haunted by the shadow of the curse, and she began to embrace life once more. Eliza was overjoyed to see her friend happy and healthy again. She knew that she had risked everything to save her, but she also knew that it had been worth it. The witch's garden continued to thrive, a testament to the power of magic and the strength of friendship. And Eliza and Lila remained the best of friends, bound together by a bond that could never be broken.